Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Meyer on the Move. Today, our very special guest is Rabbi Dr. Perl, or Rabbi Dr. Gil Perl.
That's it.
Which do we go by? Is it Rabbi? Is it Doctor?
I like Gil, actually.
Just
but
Gil.
Whatever makes you happy.
What are the students calling us?
Usually it's Rabbi Perl.
Rabbi Perl. All right. Well, Gil, Rabbi Dr. Perl is the head of school for Miami's newest Jewish day school, and it is called the Jewish Leadership Academy, or otherwise in short, JLA. Rabbi, thank you for being here.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Oh.
Exciting start.
Yes, we're being recognized, and we're very locally famous here in Coconut Grove. Well, we want to talk about the Jewish Leadership Academy in JLA, but first I want to talk a little bit about you, the head of school, and if you could tell us a little bit about yourself. Where'd you come from? What's your educational background? Married, children?
I'm from New Jersey. Don't hold that against me.
Try not to. We like New Jersey.
Yeah,
We just like it when people move here from New Jersey.
It's a good place to visit. It's a great place to visit. Grew up there, went to private Jewish high school, and from there actually spent 2 years studying in Yeshiva in Israel, in Yeshiva Har Etzion, after high school, and then as an undergraduate to Penn. Did that rather quickly, got out of there, and actually spent a year studying in a Lakewood kollel. You know what that is?
I know what a kollel is, but maybe tell us for our viewers, what's a kollel?
A kollel is a place for adults who do full-time Torah study. And in America, Lakewood, New Jersey is actually a real center for that kind of study, and they have some satellite branches, and that was one of their satellite branches for a year. It's a little known fact about my educational background. Spent a year doing that before going on to Harvard to do a master's and PhD. Following that, I came to Yeshiva University, where I was hired to teach Jewish history, and I also enrolled in their Smicha program, a program for rabbinic ordination. And that's been my educational journey.
Wow, so Israel, Harvard, it's fairly well-rounded. What drew you specifically to JLA, to the Jewish Leadership Academy?
I think there are two things that drew me to JLA. The first is, over the course of my career, and I've been a head of school now, I think this is year 20, I've been bothered, concerned, and curious about how we are serving our most academically able and ambitious students. I've had a feeling for quite some time that we in the Jewish community have done an incredible job of servicing so many of our children educationally, yet this to me felt like a real gap, and a gap that was hurting us over the long term in terms of leadership of our community. We were not developing the potential of these students. We were not meeting the needs of these students. And as a result, so many of them actually were not attending our Jewish day schools, and often we were losing them from the Jewish community as a whole. So the opportunity to work with this segment of the population and really try something that hasn't been done yet, I think, in the Jewish community was exciting to me. So that was really number one. And a very, very strong number two was Daniel and Gisela Ades, two of the most remarkable people that I have ever met. I started working for them as a consultant when they were thinking about what they wanted to do and how they wanted to transform the landscape of Jewish education in Miami.
And for our viewers, Daniel and Gisela Ades are the founders of the Jewish Leadership Academy.
Yes. So they hired me in 2018 as a consultant to help them think through what they saw was a significant gap in the landscape of Jewish educational opportunities in Miami and how they might go about fixing it. And over the course of our work together, I grew to have such incredible admiration for them, and not just because of their vision and their incredible generosity, but actually even more so because of their kindness and their humility. Our values just really seemed incredibly aligned. And after a couple of years of working together as a consultant, they turned to me and asked me if I would come down to lead this project, and the opportunity to work in this segment of the population, doing something that nobody else was doing, and to do it together with the two of them was just an opportunity that I couldn't turn down.
So the Jewish Leadership Academy is a school that's focused on the academic elite. What do we call that? Would that be the term? What would your term be for that?
Yeah, no, the word elite is not one that we like to throw around. Yeah,
So,
we talk about students who are most academically able and ambitious. That's really what we're looking for, is students who really excel academically, either because they're naturally gifted or because they have tremendous work ethic, and they can often do and are capable of more than what many of our local schools can offer them. Kind of the core for us, though, is to imbue in these students a sense of using their gifts for others. That's really kind of our core mission, is to develop these gifts that these students have, but to make sure that they understand that with these gifts come responsibilities not just to propel themselves forward, but to take others along with them.
So it's actually Rabbi Felig of the Chabad of South Dade in Coconut Grove. Actually, this week in his sermon spoke of JLA and Daniel Ades' early conversations about the school, and he said he wanted to build a school, and he had said, "What is it that you're trying to achieve in educating these children?" And that's what he had said, was that to instill the sense of giving back to their community, of tzedakah in all of its forms, not just financially, but to be able to contribute. So that is a really good segue into my question about the name Jewish Leadership Academy. What is it in the context of the word leadership? Could you tell us what that specifically means? And I'm sure a touch on that, but if there's anything else to elaborate?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I think it's important for your viewers to understand that as a Leadership Academy doesn't mean that all future leaders are going to come through JLA. We understand absolutely that there are many very, very talented leaders currently, and there will be in the future, who academically aren't the right fit for JLA. What we want to make sure of is that those students who are academically able and ambitious understand and have the capacity and desire to use those abilities for others. So leadership to us means service to others. It means recognizing the problems that exist in the world around you and having the capacity and desire to do something about it. And the thing that probably the students hear from me most often is that leadership is about making difficult decisions. I tell them all the time, leadership is not about the title that you have. It's not whether you've got the corner office or not. It's not about telling people to do things. It's that ultimately hard decisions need to be made, right? In any arena, whether it's in your family, it's in your local synagogue, it's in your community, it's at work. And we want to prepare these kids to be able to see multiple sides of an issue, to think about them deeply and creatively, and ultimately to be informed and articulate decision makers.
Wow. So it's no pressure at all.
No.
Raising the future of young Jewish leaders. I guess zooming out a little bit, let's talk about, there are a lot of schools that people could send their kids to in Miami or in South Florida. And so I want to hone in on a couple of things, like why the need for a new school, which we've talked a little bit about, really focusing in on children that are more academically inclined, specifically Jewish children that are academically inclined. I believe JLA starts at an honors level and goes upwards from there.
Correct.
And so it's not a school that's necessarily for every child, or just because somebody is Jewish that this may not be the best fit for them. Who is our target audience? Are we talking about kids coming out of other yeshivas? Who's the ideal student or family that we're looking to join JLA?
So when I started doing my work with the Adeses, the problem they were trying to solve was a sense that there were a very large percentage of our most academically able and ambitious students here in Miami who were opting out of a Jewish day school, either right from the outset at pre-K kindergarten, or particularly after fifth grade. And that was the market that was, I would say, target market number one. Because for so many of them, it wasn't that they didn't want a Jewish education, it's that they didn't see the place that could give them both the general studies education that they wanted or needed for their children and the Jewish piece as well. I think that need has only increased post-October 7th, where more and more families now recognize that raising their kids both outside of school and inside of school in a proudly Zionist, proudly Jewish community is of the utmost importance. If we're not sticking together today, if we're not becoming proud of our support for the state of Israel, of our Judaism and our Jewish heritage today, then then we're in trouble. Right? We're in trouble because nobody else is going to do it for us. So that was absolutely market number one, was those who were not currently in Jewish day school. And today about 75% of our student population would not be in a Jewish day school if they weren't with us. But then there's the other population of students who are in a Jewish day school, but whose parents feel that they just need something more than those day schools can offer. Those are often community schools whose job it is to service the breadth of the community, and there's always outliers, for kids who it's not anybody's fault, but they simply, the resources aren't there either to meet those kids' needs or really to develop their potential more fully.
Speaking of community, I mean, JLA is located just outside of Miami Shores, or just we call it Miami Shores centric. Other than Miami Country Day, there's really not any sort of school that would draw people to that area that I know of. Talk to me a little bit about why we chose that location and from where students and families are coming, because my son Benjamin will be attending this year as his first year in middle school, and we're coming all the way from Coral Gables. So is it just families coming from Miami Beach and Coral Gables, or where are families coming from, and why specifically did we choose that area?
So we chose that space because of its centrality to the entirety of the Miami-Dade area. So we're kind of in no community, but we are not more than 20 minutes from most of the Jewish communities in and around Miami-Dade. And we knew, because we weren't a community school, because we're looking for a particular type of student, we needed to be in a place that could be accessed by a whole array of communities, a whole array of schools. I think to date, our students come from 53 different schools. So that means that there were 53 different feeder schools.
How many students are there now in total?
So we have 180 right now, and we'll be at 235 for next year.
This coming school year.
Yeah.
With a max capacity of?
About 330, 340.
So we're not even at full capacity yet. And how many applicants did we have this year?
So we have about a 38% acceptance rate this year. So thank God we have many, many more applicants, than we have spaces for, and that we've been blessed to be able to be focused, in selecting the right students. But I think it's important. I think it's important to know that our students come from as far north, actually, as Boca Raton. And as far south as Coconut Grove, Coral Gables. They come from Key Biscayne, the beach, Doral in the west. They're literally coming from Plantation. They're coming from literally all over the place.
Well, I mean, I know that here in South Dade, so I think this is an important note, and I'd like to touch on this because I live in Coral Gables. My office is in Coconut Grove. Down here in the preschool and elementary categories, in terms of Jewish schools, we have Beth Am and Temple Judea and a few others. Once you graduate elementary school down here in the South Dade region, there is no Jewish school for middle or high school whatsoever. It doesn't exist. You would have to go to Miami Beach or Aventura to find the nearest Jewish day schools. And so Miami Shores actually doesn't seem terribly far for those that are down here. And the people that are down here are accustomed to a rigorous academic school. I mean, they're sending their kids already to Ransom and Gulliver, which have incredibly, which are incredibly challenging to get into. I think it's important to note to the people who are living in South Dade, who are looking for a Jewish school, that this is an option that's available to you. And then touching on that, I also want to touch. I definitely don't want to forget to talk a little bit about the campus, because guys, the campus is magnificent. I want to hear it from Rabbi Dr. Perl's words and his own. I'm just going to call you Rabbi Dr. Perl. I'm sorry, I can't.
So it's a mouthful, but go ahead.
So, I want to hear in your words a little bit about the campus. But I do think it's really important for people to understand that this school is an available option to those that are living in South Dade. If you're living in Boca, or if you're living in Miami Beach or Aventura, there are easier options and places to send your kids for Jewish education. But when you're here in South Dade, there really aren't. So to have something as close as Miami Beach, I think it's a really, really incredible.
Miami Shores.
I'm sorry, as close as Miami Shores. It's right off the 95. It's not hard to access. There are transportation options. But I want to dive a little bit deeper when we talk about that, because I've heard that affordability is not a barrier for accepted students at JLA. Can you tell us, is that true? And if so, how is it that you make that happen? Why is that a thing? Because that is not something that we hear in some of the more the more prestigious schools that we have in Miami.
Yeah. So I want to respond to both of the things that you asked. So first of all, proximity to the south was actually high on our priority list as we were looking for a place to build. We had some opportunities, in the Aventura area, and we actually turned them down because we knew that this community down here does not have a high school, a Jewish high school that is easily accessible, and we want it to be that place. We want to be that place, and that's really important for us. And speaking of important to us, that you raised the issue of finances not being a barrier. I would go a step further than that. From day one, the vision, particularly for the Ades family, was to actively recruit a socioeconomically diverse student body. They felt it was extremely important for two reasons. Number one, because there are just too many families who are priced out of a Jewish education. They want a Jewish education, but it's, especially if you have multiple kids, private school education is extremely expensive. But number two was that even the kids who could afford it were missing out by virtue of the fact that their friends all kind of looked like them, all lived in the same kinds of houses as them, drove the same kinds of cars, went on the same kinds of vacations, and they weren't being exposed to the full breadth and beauty of our Jewish community. Right from the outset, Daniel and Gisela gave me marching orders, which was, you need to find those families who don't think they can afford a private school education and let them know that they can at JLA. And so we did it in two ways. Number one, by ensuring that our admissions process is 100% need blind. We do not take a family's ability to pay into account at all.
We call that need blind.
Need blind, 100% need blind. And number two, with an indexed tuition model. So we, instead of having one set tuition, we have 7 different tuition levels. And it's set based on a family's ability to pay. And what I think is really unique is something like kind of a play we took right out of the playbook of many colleges. We've put a calculator on our website where a family can go anonymously and put in 3 simple numbers, and it will spit out in all likelihood which tier, tuition tier, family will land up in, so that without ever submitting any kind of information to us, without disclosing anything, they can know that the sticker price is not going to be their price.
So then what would your message be to, I suppose, families that feel that they have a child that qualifies for this rigorous program, this incredibly ambitious programming, but maybe feels that a private school tuition may not be affordable to them? Or is it as simple as just going on the website and playing with the calculator?
I'd say absolutely. Go to the website, look at the calculator. Again, your numbers never come to us; they're completely anonymous. But I'd also, think about the question of the investment. Right, in so many areas, we think about cost. Right? I think real estate is a great example of a place where we do think, right, rather than cost or expense, we think about investment. Even if it's something we're going to be using, I think we need to think the same way about a Jewish education and about our children's future. Right? It is absolutely an investment, and particularly in the world that we live in today, right? There are a few places that I think we need to be investing more. And in our children and in the future of the Jewish community.
Agreed on both fronts. So if somebody goes to the website, they punch in the number in the calculator, they don't like what they see from an affordability perspective, would you still encourage them to apply? Does it go beyond the calculator?
It'll give you a sense. And once you're in the process, we have a much more elaborate application that we ask people to fill out, which gives us all sorts of data that is not there in the calculator that can absolutely help us understand a whole variety of other circumstances. And it is not uncommon, that the ultimate price or the ultimate tier that a family lands up in is actually lower than the one that the calculator gave them.
Now, having a need blind policy and a policy, as I understand it, where you would not be fundraising in the traditional capacity in your school, is that correct? I've been told that this is not. You won't be asked at every turn for another donation and to go out and raise funds. And so I guess what messaging would you have to those that have the financial means and that would share in your vision and the Ades family's vision to build the future of Jewish education for the academically inclined?
I appreciate the question. Unfortunately, not enough people are asking it because you're right. We are committed to not fundraising in the traditional way, and yet we are deeply committed to fundraising. We need to. This cannot happen simply with the largesse of the Ades family. We need partners in this for this to work over the long term. So no, you're not going to be getting a solicitation every other month. There's no golf outings, there's no gala, there's no auction. But what there is and must be are other partners who believe in what we're doing. And the reason is simple. Our tuition is priced at cost per student. Actually, cost per student at capacity. So right now, cost per student is even more, but it's set at projected cost per student, which means if you're paying full tuition, you're paying only for your child's education and nobody else.
Got it. There's no profit margin there.
Zero. The other thing it means is that the money we raise every year is 100% financial aid. 100% financial aid. We have 75% of our student body is on financial aid.
Wow.
And 25% of our student body is in our bottom tuition tier. And we didn't even mention the fact that we do things like taking our upper school to Israel for a month every year. 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade starts in Israel.
Inclusive in tuition.
Inclusive in tuition.
Wow.
Breakfast and lunch, inclusive in tuition. If you're part of our community, you're part of our community. If we've determined this is how much you can pay, this is how much you can pay. And we're not going to come back a month later and say, oh, but there's an athletic fee. Oh, but to go on the trip, you need to pay another $1,000 here. We don't do that. So what we raise is 100% going to families who need it. And so if and when there are families who have the capacity to become partners of ours in this, who don't have a desire for their name in lights, because that's not the way we do things. The Ades family doesn't put their name in lights, and it's not about them, it's about the kids. Those are families that we absolutely need in order to make the financial aid and the need blind piece of what we're doing sustainable over the long term.
I mean, it can only be funded by one family for so long, right?
And it can't even be. It can't even be. This has to be a project with partners, and thank God some have begun to emerge. We absolutely.
And when I say that, that you and the Ades family have built the foundations, the true foundations for the future of the school, because this is a new school. I mean, we're in your third year.
Second year.
Second year, going into our third year.
Yep.
And to a lot of people that might sound new. Will it last? Will it stick around? You can see it an incredible amount of invested both money, effort, and time. This is what, 10, 15 years in the making? 10 years?
A little bit. I mean, the Adeses have been thinking about something like this for a long time. They brought me on board in 2018, so we're now in year 7.
I do want to talk a little bit about the campus. In your own words, can you just give us the elevator pitch, if you will, from the top? What is JLA? What is the Jewish Leadership Academy? Talk to us about the school, its founders, sort of recap all of the things that we're talking about in tuition, and the microphone is yours.
Sure. But let me start. You asked about the campus. So the campus was an extraordinary opportunity. We knew that given the landscape of independent schools down here in South Florida and Miami in particular, if we want to be competitive in that space, we needed a campus that broadcast to everyone that we're serious about what we're doing. That a facility that matches the quality of the education that was going to happen inside. If we were to have started in a few rented classrooms in a local synagogue, it would have taken us years, right, to convince the population that actually we want to be thought of together with your top independent schools here and across the country. So that was an investment we knew we needed to make. It happens to be one of the, I think, most audacious risks and gambles that we've ever seen in the world of Jewish philanthropy. I mean, we built a 6-acre magnificent campus with 5 buildings without a single student enrolled.
Before you even had a single student.
It was absolutely a case of if you build it, they will come.
I mean, and we're talking indoor basketball court, tennis court,
outdoor basketball courts, soccer fields, fabrication labs, science labs that are of university level, video lab, this music recording studio. I mean, dining hall with an in-house caterer, just incredible facilities, which are not intended to be gaudy or to be elite, but to give kids a sense of that they can be themselves in this place. They can be comfortable and focus on the kinds of things that we want them focused on while they're there. So we actually did a design competition. We had 3 international architecture firms give us their best pitch for a design that fit our mission. And then we chose from the best of the 3. And I ended up going with Gensler, who has done amazing work in the educational space across the world. And what they designed for us really was just remarkable. And thank God we've actually won multiple awards now for the architecture, for the design.
I would say for those who have heard about JLA, who haven't yet taken a tour of their campus, when you are given the opportunity, I highly encourage you to do so. If you're thinking about sending your children there, maybe not this year, maybe in 2 or 3 years. Our first meeting with JLA was 2 years ago, maybe a little more than 2 years ago, and the campus is breathtaking, jaw-dropping. It's something that I wish I had when I was going to middle and high school, and it's really a hats off. I mean, you guys did a phenomenal job with the campus. Okay, so JLA in a nutshell, as told by the world-renowned Rabbi Dr. Gil Perl.
Sure. JLA is a world-class middle and upper school aimed at the Miami Jewish community's most academically able and ambitious students, dedicated to developing in them the curiosity, the skills, and the passion to live a life of purpose, of meaning, and service to others.
I love
it. What it looks like in practice is something wholly different than anything you'll find either in the independent school world or in the Jewish day school world. It's different than the independent school world because we are proudly Jewish school, proudly Zionist, under modern Orthodox auspices, deeply tying to tradition. You know, on the Jewish side, our goal is that when a student graduates from JLA and you ask them what do you love about your Judaism, they can answer without hesitation. That's our goal. We're different than any Jewish day school because, number one, we are focused on a population that wouldn't otherwise be in a Jewish day school. So the range of observance of our students and our families is really quite significant. We're different in the fact that we are focused on that student population that can handle honors level work and above. We're different because every week we devote 2 hours of school time to something we call our Service Entrepreneurship Program, which is a 7-year scope and sequence dedicated to teaching kids the skills they need and developing the passion for making a difference in the world around them. We're different because we're the only school that I know of on earth that spends the first month of school in Israel, all 4 years of their high school careers, so that when our students graduate, they've not only developed their academic capacity, but they've developed a real working knowledge and understanding of the state of Israel and a deep-seated love for the Jewish people, the Jewish state, and the Jewish home.
And that's a month in Israel starting in high school for each of the high school years, the first month.
We leave in the middle of August, we come back before Rosh Hashanah every year.
Inclusive in the tuition.
Included in tuition.
Unbelievable. Thank you. That's a really nice recap and overview. Anything else, Dad? I hear the food's really great too.
The food is pretty good. The food is pretty good. Yeah. I'll just add, I think we've actually recruited faculty from across the world who have moved to Miami. I don't know if you've sold them any houses yet, but they've moved to Miami, many of them, to teach in this kind of environment, and we wouldn't be what we are without them. They're truly a special group.
Hey, I want to pivot a little bit here to one of our more fun segments. Fun for me, not so fun for you. But we're going to do a carpool karaoke. But while you think about your karaoke song, we're going to do some rapid fire questions to get to know you a little bit better. And maybe for those that know you on a more personal level, we're going to ask, starting with light questions, book or podcast?
Book on Shabbat, podcast during the week.
All right. You get a 7-day vacation with your family. Are we talking cabin in the woods or a private beach resort?
Private beach resort.
And working out, early morning or late night?
Late night, every day.
Sephardic chamin or Ashkenazi cholent?
Oh, that's an easy one. Ashkenazi cholent all the way.
Ashkenazi cholent. I like a spicy cholent at least?
Yes.
Okay, a spicy cholent. We get a hybrid blend. A student who never talks or a student that talks too much?
Oh, the student who talks too much every day.
Oh, yeah? All right. You heard it here. Chavrusa or a shear?
Oh, chavrusa. No question about it.
Chavrusa meaning more of a one-on-one than a lecture, if we will, for those that don't know. And then my favorite question, it's time for a l'chaim. Is it scotch, vodka, or tequila?
It's a good glass of wine.
A good glass of wine, it has to be one of scotch, vodka, or tequila, or I don't drink. Well, a good glass of wine, now we know. Moving on to my next favorite segment, carpool karaoke. Have you given some thought to your carpool karaoke song? And I hope it's one that I know that I can sing along. If not, you're on your own.
So that's what I kind of figured. I need to come up with one that you'd know. How about Billy Joel's Piano Man?
Oh, I like it.
You do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Do we need to play it, or are we just going to sing it from the top?
Whatever you want.
Let's see if we can give ourselves a little guidance. Ready?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's quite the intro. Wow, harmonica too.
Oh, yeah.
Forgot to bring mine.
Do you play that on? Do you play an instrument?
I do play the piano, actually.
You play it? That's a little known fact. Do people know this?
I don't know.
Have they been exploiting this at your school?
No, not yet. After this goes viral.
All right. It's 5 o'clock on a Saturday. The regular crowd shuffles in.
There's an old man sitting next to me,
Making love to his tonic and gin.
Says, Vince, can you bring me a memory?
I'm not really sure how it goes,
but it's sad and it's sweet, and I knew it complete
when I wore a younger man's clothes.
La di da 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 da.
Da 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 da. Sing us the song. Way off pitch. Sing us the song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you got us feeling all right. All right, good work. We won't make them sing the whole thing, but that was, you're the first person we've had on Meyer on the Move that has a good voice. Sorry, guys. It's facts. We have heard it from the people. Most of you are terrible. But pretty well done. And we learned our little known fact about you, that you're a piano man.
That is true.
Which, if it has not yet been exploited at JLA, I'm sure it will, going forward, be
At some point.
largely exploited. Well, I wanted to thank you for coming on our show and taking the time. Thank you guys for watching to learn a little bit about the Jewish Leadership Academy, Miami's newest Jewish day school, but not just for people from Miami. As we've heard today, we have people that are attending this incredible campus right outside Miami shores, from Miami Beach, from Coral Gables, from Key Biscayne, from Boca Raton, from Aventura, from Sunny Isles.
I go a step further. We've had people who've moved here from New Hampshire, Texas, California, Singapore, just to put their kids in the school.
Unbelievable. And
New York. Did I forget New York?
You might have forgotten New York. So it's really incredible. If you haven't learned about JLA, I encourage you to visit their website at
www.jlamiami.org.
If you have any questions you want to know about JLA or any other schools, or just the educational, just the education all around in Miami, please reach out. We can help guide you and figuring out what the best fit for you and your family and your child is going to be. My own family have chosen to put our son Benjamin in JLA, and are grateful that he was accepted. He's a very smart and very kind boy, and I think you guys are very lucky to have him.
We think so too.
And we feel very, very honored and happy that he's going to have this great opportunity to be a part of your amazing school. So thank you.
We're looking forward.
And thank you for coming on the show.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.